Hello, everyone. Yes, this is Kevin Krieg, Director of Business Development with Intelinair, and we have our product called AgMRI. And what we do as a company, as a business, is we take remote sense data, feed that through artificial intelligence, specifically computer vision, machine learning, and we generate out crop intelligence insights. So in the season, those then really range from we pick up emergence across the entire field. We look for weeds that escaped your herbicide application. And then as that crop is growing and really, getting the yield developed for it, we're looking at crop health things that are impacting that, whether it's just an underperforming area from its historical average, or whether it's actually a very specific nutrient problem that is happening on the field or a disease. We give those insights across multiple different fields and pinpoint the exact areas of the fields that are having those issues. We also then have during the season nitrogen management tools as well, and those really help to be able to manage and monitor how much that corn is potentially giving up yield due to nitrogen deficiency, and then a prescription to be able to address that in the season. Kind of to go along with all of it as well, we have a yield forecasting analytic for corn as well that has done a really good job of understanding what the yield is going to be at that time of the year and give you a projection for what your yield would be, basically assuming normal weather from that point forward. So that's kind of look at the in-season stuff. And then we have a postseason, which we call AgMRI Analyze, that really takes all of those insights we've generated throughout the year, and we combine that with machine data, weather data, soil data to give you the factors that impacted your yield. So that's really trying to then give you a report card of how well your yield did, and then what things were the limiting factors to give you the ability to focus on those and really work to get an ROI across that. And so we serve, farmers in the end, but a lot of times through ag retailers. So ag retailers are using this in conjunction to serve their farmers and to be able to help build a better business for them. So that's what we do and what our business is all about. Yeah, so there's a lot of macro challenges across the ag industry. When we look at it, and what we hear a lot from our customers being the ag retailers, the end farmers, I'll summarize it really in three areas right now that we hear the most about. For one, labor shortages. That's still a big challenge in the rural area. That's a challenge for both ag retailers and farmers. And then really within that labor, the turnover at ag retailers is quite high too. And so therefore, a challenge in for them is all that knowledge and that relationship with the farmer is walking out the door as well when that turnover happens. Second, that I think is on top of mind for a lot of farmers right now is margins are tight. Right, so that's really one of the big areas as well, is that farmers are concerned with where the commodity prices are today. And we primarily serve corn and soybeans, so that has been very tight on those margins here right now. The other area that we hear a lot of challenges is this idea just of data overload. A lot of the customers we talk to, again, both ag retailers and farmers, it's just they've had a lot of data coming at them. And none of it really is delivering a lot of value, right? Or it's hard for them to be able to get the value out of it. So that's a challenge when we have all this data that's there, but being able to get that into a way that's consumable by them. So how we're looking to address that is on the labor front. We really built an easy to use platform that's both web and mobile enabled, that allows the ag retailers to efficiently cover a lot of acres, to do a better job of serving their customers for that and not relying on the boots on the ground as much as they've had to in the past. And then we also, though, within that labor, one of the big things that we can do is now that we have these insights and we have this information in our AgMRI system, it allows that retailer and the new person that's coming into that retailer to give them a head start on the knowledge. They can understand what's impacting those fields. So a lot of times, right, the customer, the end farmer, has maybe been farming them for 30, 40 years, right? They know everything about that field. Now the person at the ag retailer can come in and see new insights and get them up to that level to have a good conversation with the farm. on the farmer margin side of stuff, really it comes down to be able to that measuring what is impacting that yield, to be able to give them that data, to be able to understand then, well, what are the big things that I need to work on to increase that margin? We have some of our ag retailers that are, suggesting to, cut back some of the nitrogen and then use our tools to monitor that. So if you can cut back your nitrogen, be more efficient with it, but then still have that ability to not give up yield due to nitrogen limiting, that's a big way to be able to help some of that margin that is for them as well. The other kind of big area that helps with the farmer margin is around just the ability to market their grain. With the yield forecasting, gives them a better idea and more confidence of what their final yield's going to come into for the year, so they can market more grain during those times when they're seeing the sell indicators, right, to say, hey, you should be selling more of your grain for contracting that. They now have a better idea of how much grain they're going to have at the end of the year. So that really helps with margins to be able to take care of and market some of that grain at the right time. Then on the data overload side of things, right? So one of our strengths is really around our user interface. It's really an easy to use interface, and it takes all of that data, all of that information, and puts it into an actionable set of information. So it tells them after every flight, which is about every 10 days, exactly then what are the top priorities that they need to focus on. So the way I describe it, it's a big funnel, right? We're covering lots of acres. We're telling them which fields, where in the field, and what type of problem it is, and prioritizing that for them to help them make good decisions and being able to see kind of more in human language what is happening across their farm, and not have to pick through all the data, but get those insights and go from there. So that's really kind of the big things that we're doing to help face some of those challenges in the ag industry as we see them today. Yeah, that's a good question, right? And I think, across the board, I think ag tech is gaining in importance and how it helps with those challenges we just talked about, right? The thing that I'm really excited about and seeing that's really starting to come together, and I think it's really going to be important over those next 5 years and beyond, is when you look at some of the key tenets of ag tech, right? And some of the solutions that are out there around farm management software, precision ag hardware, on the machine type of stuff, remote sensing, and then farm robotics and automation. So I think those to me are some of the pillars that make up ag tech, and kind of the importance to help do a lot of the other things like sustainability, like just being able to get an ROI in these tight margin times. But then where it comes together is through collaboration across those. And then the most important thing to me is how artificial intelligence is going to unlock the value across those things. So if we can bring those 4 areas together, use artificial intelligence to be able to sort through that and find those common threads of what is really driving that farm operation, that ag retailer as well, to be able to give them those insights to know what they need to focus on. So I see artificial intelligence, kind of coming across a lot of these different solutions through that collaboration and be able to generate out those things that just the human cannot process on their own. Because we all know ag is very complex. There's lots of variables in there. And so if we can do that through the natural language processing, large language models, to be able to understand what's driving that yield, and then be able to start predicting outcomes based on different variables, then that will help unlock a lot more value and take out hopefully some of the uncertainty that is in the farming, every year when they put the crop in and try to manage that the best they can. First of all, it's our investment in our product and our services, right? So we've invested and we continue to invest dollars in building out AgMRI to be the best that it can be. And then also what we do a lot of, we pride ourselves in collaborations, right? I mentioned it before. I think collaborating across those things are important. So we have collaborations and partnerships with many ag retailers But then we also have them with farm management software and other ag service providers and other precision ag solutions that are out there as well. So we try to do our part in being able to bring that data together and make it easy for the retail and the farmer to get value out of that. What I think I really take pride in as well from what we're trying to do is take that, the ag tech, that artificial intelligence that's really, a very high-tech thing, and being able to use that to turn it into practical solutions for farmers, right? Farmers don't necessarily, care. They don't want to go out and buy ag tech, right? They want to buy a solution that helps them on their farm. So that's where I see one of the biggest things that we do to support ag tech is using the technology, making the technology easy for the farmers to get value out of it. And therefore, in the end, we're advancing ag tech in the industry with that. Came across the quote that's been out there a lot, knowledge is power, right? And I think that really sums up a lot to me what ag tech can be is, ag tech through artificial intelligence, these different things can really be the knowledge that gives the farmer the ability to manage, within the weather, within the environment that they have, to be able to maximize the most out of it. So I'm really, excited about what ag tech can do for them and how we can help farmers get the most out of their land and deliver a good return to their business.